So now you should have a general idea of how this method works, and we've added another vocabulary word, which you should have written down on your vocabulary sheet, which is improper fraction. So now we're going to go into more detail about improper fraction, and we're going to introduce the idea of mixed numbers. Alright, so let's review improper fraction like we just went over. It is a fraction with a numerator that is larger than the denominator, and we can simplify those fractions to get a mixed number. So a mixed number is a fraction that stands next to a whole number, but is equal to an improper fraction. So here we have an improper fraction right here, and here we have a mixed number. Believe it or not, these two numbers are equal because 9 over 4, how many times does 4 go into 9? 2. What's the remainder? Well, 4 times 2 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1, so we would get 1/4 left over. So 9/4 is equal to 2 and 1/4. So now we're going to watch a short YouTube video. Again, it's not the same video, but it's about improper fraction and mixed numbers, so you have a better idea of what I'm talking about.
Improper fractions and mixed numbers, a la schmo. Numbers come in all shapes and sizes. Some are big and some are little. Some are whole, and others are a bit fractured. As far as fractions go, it's a mixed bag. Some fractions are proper, some are improper, and then there are those that are just a little mixed up. Who am I? Proper fractions have a numerator that's smaller than the denominator, which means they're always less than 1. Proper fractions also donate to charities and volunteer in soup kitchens. They know they're not greater than anyone else around them. Improper fractions, on the other hand, are a little full of themselves. They've got big heads. Well, big numerators anyway. In improper fractions, the numerator is bigger than the denominator, which means they're greater than 1.
I've won one.
Since fractions aren't supposed to be greater than 1, we call these guys improper. They're a bit on the rude side.
Well, I never.
But if they get on our nerves, we can change them into mixed numbers. Mixed numbers are combinations of whole numbers and fractions, so they may be a bit confused at times. Maybe they're going through an identity crisis or something. We don't really know.
Am I a whole number or am I a fraction?
We can change improper fractions into mixed numbers by dividing the numerator by the denominator. That's what fractions are, right? Division. We'll end up with a number and a remainder. The number is the whole number at the front, and the remainder goes in the numerator of the fraction that follows it. If we're sick of being mixed up by mixed numbers, we can change them back into improper fractions too. Since we divided to change, let's multiply to change them back. First, we multiply the denominator by the whole number. Once we find that product, we add it to the numerator of our mixed numbers fraction. Then we put that number in the original denominator.
I am the original denominator.
To get our improper fraction. So in the end, mixed numbers and improper fractions can express the same number in 2 different ways. It's up to you to decide which is better, improper or mixed.
Who am I? I never.
Okay, so I hope you liked the video. We're going to go over this last vocab word on this slide, and that is equivalent. We say that one fraction is equal to another fraction that may even look different. That's what equivalent means. So we say that 9 over 4 is equivalent to 2 and 1/4 because they are the same value. Both of these numbers are the same value, but they look different, so they are equivalent. We get 2 and 1/4 out of 9 over 4 by going from improper fraction to a mixed number, and the equivalence is that both of these are the same value. So now that we understand improper fractions, mixed numbers, and the term equivalent, write all of those definitions down on your vocab sheet, write down any notes, any questions you have, and we're going to move on to our second example, which is our last one of the day as a class. So example 2 is 4/7 divided by 8/11, and we're trying to find the quotient. Step 1, keep the left side the same, and step 2 is to change the division sign to a multiplication sign, like we see in this step right here. The third step is to flip 8/11 to 11 over 8. That's the reciprocal. These two are reciprocals. So then our new question is 4/7 times 8/11, or 11 over 8. So when we multiply across, we get 44 over 56, and when we simplify, we take 4 out of those, and we get 11 over 14th, which is the lowest we can get. And I want to make a big, big note that you always want to simplify as much as possible. Always. You want to get this number to be as small as possible, because that is your final answer, is the most simple answer. If you have a mixed number, you want to simplify that down into a mixed number as simple as possible, so that whenever you go to explain it, you can always explain how you did it and simplify it down to the most simple answer, okay? So that is it for our notes today. So keep your notes out, keep your vocab sheet out, and we're going to get into a worksheet we have as a class. Okay, so now we're going to move into our worksheet of the day. You have 5 questions to do. It should only take you 10 minutes or so to do. You can work in groups, you can work with a partner, you can work independently, but your goal is to complete it as correctly as possible for each question, and you can use your notes and your vocab sheets to help you out. So the first question is 3/4 divided by 5/7. The second is 2/3 divided by 5/6. The third is 1/8 divided by 2/3. The fourth is 1/5 divided by 4/7, and the fifth is 1/2 divided by 2/9. Alright, so you're going to have about 10 minutes to turn that in. Turn it in at the front when you're done. And again, you can work in groups, you can work by yourself, and you can use your notes, you can ask me questions. Anything you need to do to get it done as correctly as possible. Show all of your work and simplify as much as possible, okay? Go ahead and start. Okay, now that everyone is finished with the worksheet, we're going to go over our homework sheet that you're not going to work on now. We're almost out of time, so we're just going to go over it and make sure no one has any questions about it, so that when you go home, you can get it done as quickly as possible and enjoy the rest of your night, okay? So, you're going to show all of your work. You're going to explain your answers if you can. You're going to simplify as much as possible, and you only have 5 problems, so it's not a long homework assignment at all. Just want to make sure you are remembering how we did everything in class, and you can prove that you can do it on your own, okay? So your first question is to solve 5/6 divided by 1/4, okay? Show your work. The second question is to simplify 44 over 128 as small as you can get it, okay? Third one is to convert to a mixed number. So like we said before, this is an improper fraction. You're going to change this one into a mixed number just like we did in our notes. The fourth question is to solve 9 over 11 divided by 1 over 2. Using the keep, change, flip method. You want to use the keep, change, flip method for all of the division problems, okay? And the last question is to solve 13 over 9 divided by 3 over 4. And you have a mixed number in there, or improper fraction in there. So I want to make sure that if you do have an improper fraction as your answer, you want to change that to a mixed number so you're proving that you understand that as well, okay? So you just want to complete this as best as you can. You're going to turn it in the next class for a grade. Does anyone have any questions about what we're doing? Okay. Okay, since we're wrapping up class, today we went over dividing fractions by fractions. We went over some definitions such as improper fraction, equivalent, numerator, denominator. So you should have a basic understanding now. So what I want you to do is I want you to complete this exit slip. You do it on your own piece of paper. So get a piece of paper out, and you're going to need a pencil, and you're going to solve this problem. You have 5 minutes. You have the last 5 minutes of class to do this. So the question is 1/3 divided by 3/5. It should be simple. You're going to turn it into me at the door as you leave, and you have 5 minutes to do this. So try your best, and go ahead and start. Alright, now that your 5 minutes is up for your exit slip, we're going to talk about what we're going to do next class. So, before the bell rings, I want to go ahead and mention that next class you're going to turn in your homework assignment that you were given today. We're going to continue practicing dividing fraction by fractions. We're going to use word problems more in the next class, and we're going to do a group center activity which is centered around word problems. So you'll be divided into group stations, and you'll go around the room and do some word problems and practice what we learned today. I hope you all have a great day. Turn in your exit slip as you leave, and be safe.